is one of the many problems at Preston North End. The fact that they definitely need a new captain. Current one isn't cutting it. This week on Where North End Walk, we're also talking about long throw-ins, who on earth starts against Portsmouth, and which player in particular needs a rocket this bonfire night to light their season up. Welcome to Where North End Walk. Well, Etienne and Harvey have taken the wrong week to go off to work. We've got Ash, though, with us, as always. Thank you, Ash, for getting through this. Let's try and get through with it with the smiles on our faces. Let's talk about Arsenal, first of all, briefly, shall we? What was your view from that game?
It was a game of two halves, really. The first half, I'm not quite sure what the formation was. I'm guessing the manager just wanted to rest some players. But yeah, the second half, I thought we were actually quite decent. It's a lot of hassle to get to that game, and I was slightly disappointed, but not as disappointed as some people were online, especially. But yeah, I think you can't really moan at only losing 3-0 to a team that good. So take the positives from that.
Yeah, and well done to anybody trying to get a train to that game, because it was just
impossible.
Typical northern train service. All right, then came Bristol City. We won't dwell on this too much because we're recording this, of course, before the midweek fixtures, so this all might have turned around by then. But was that one of the worst performances of the season?
Oh, for me, it was the worst by a mile. The worst one since probably Watford at home last year. Yeah, it was just really disappointing all over the pitch. I don't think anybody really turned up at all. I say that, but McCann looked okay until he got booked, and then he had to be too careful. And the referee had an absolute nightmare. We've all seen the clips of the handball, and that doesn't get given in the Premier League. But at the same time, I'm not taking VAR even to stop those mistakes. So these things happen. And I thought the cheating didn't excuse the rest of the performance anyway. So we were way below par.
It's very unlike Heckingbottom to set up a team like this. I mean, it's almost low-like, wasn't it?
Yeah, I made that exact remark. I said I thought we were past this, and I absolutely trust that he will be the right man for the job and he will get it right. And I think he is being hindered by the squad, especially defensively. We just look horrendous. And perhaps the goalkeeper to an extent as well. But yeah, there was nothing really good apart from Greenwood's free kick. And he could have had two more that went into the wall. I was hoping he'd put both in and get three. But apart from that, there was just nothing to be proud of, really.
Yeah, pretty bad. Let's have a look at some social media takes. So this was of course about your captain, Captain Whiteman. Lots of people saying take the captaincy off him. I'm sorry, but Whiteman should not be captain. He was invisible today. Captain should lead by example. Needs to step up big time. Don't make me laugh. It's like we're playing with 10 when he's in the middle of the park. He offers absolutely nothing, hiding behind players and pointing aimlessly. This is a tough call for a manager to strip a player of the captaincy, but for the good of Preston's survival, does he need to do it?
I don't think he necessarily needs to go and strip him as club captain, but I think he should certainly be dropped, which would then obviously mean that somebody else will be taking up the armband. I think that's probably the way to go about it. For me right now, it should be Ledson McCann in that midfield or Potts McCann, depending on when we've got wing backs that are fit enough to play. But yeah, he just doesn't seem to do anything. It's not even that he's just being a bad captain. He's just being a poor player at the minute. He doesn't seem himself like the player he was a few years ago. It almost seems as if he got that contract extension and just thought, well, I'm set now, so I don't need to even bother. But or it could be the fact that the past 2 years have taken all essence of forward passing from him. But yeah, he shouldn't be on the pitch for me at the minute.
Okay. Lots of people would agree with you. There was one other person was getting criticism, and for the first time, the manager got some stick. Whether you think it's fairly or not, Carl says, "I know it's early days, but the manager has had a shocker the last 3 games. Wrong starting 11s, wrong substitutions, and persisting with Reece, who is League 2 at best, up front on his own. It's another game that shows we have no defence and 3 out of 4 other players are not championship ability. When I was reading this, it almost sounded like you were saying these words. But is that too harsh? I mean, it's a flavour of what some of the people were saying, that we need to examine the players he's picking a bit here more.
Yeah, well, I think the only thing I will say is if that's including the Arsenal game, then it's just silly to count that in.
Yeah.
But if you look at Plymouth and you look at the Norwich game, subs were debatable. I think it was at Plymouth he brought on Thordarson when he definitely should have brought on Ledson to kind of hold the game. And I think I love that he comes in and says, I want to score one more than the opposition. But that's silly if you're 3-0 up. At that point, you just keep the game. You just, good sides just hold on to that 3-0 win. And, even if they concede one, they absolutely don't go and concede another 2 after that. And then, like I said, you can't help one of the goals at the weekend, but the other 2 you absolutely can. And I don't particularly blame the manager. The one thing I will say is I think the only player he's chosen to bring in was Josh Bowler. And I know he's not had much game time, but he looks way off it. So I'm hoping that if he gets some money to work with in January, he's picking better signings and improving the defence.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. All right, the long throw-in as well is being debated online. Get your view on this one. Craig says, please can we get rid of that long throw-in? 9 times out of 10 we get counter-attacked from it. He also goes to say, why are we attacking the town end of the first half? Surely it's better to attack at the home end of the second half. And this to do with the coin toss, isn't it? Can we please appoint a proper captain? The long throw-in. A couple of other people have mentioned this as well. Is it time to bin it off?
Well, I think the amusing thing about the long throw-in is that we're getting Dwayne Holmes to do it, who's maybe 5'3". The trajectory just isn't there. It's that simple. If you look at the good long throwers, it's been like Rory Delap, who was like 6 foot odd, and all the big lads are good at the long throws. And I know Reece did it once or twice last season. He's quite tall. It's just going too loopy, and it's just going kind of upwards instead of like long. So I think we get rid of that. That's really important to just. I think we struggled though with that for quite a long time on throw-ins. There's no movement, and we seem to struggle with throws. Whether we need to bring someone in that can give us some insight on how to make more of them. I think that would make sense. And on the point about attacking and switching ends, not quite as mad about that as other people. But I think we got too comfortable previously on the low in attacking that end the second half, and we were holding on to first half games. We were just trying to stay in the game and win it late. And I think what he's wanted to do is completely switch the mentality of the players and let's shoot that way first half. Let's get ahead early and then keep trying to attack. So I'm guessing that's just mentality-wise the way he's gone about it. And to be honest, I think professional footballers, it shouldn't really matter which end they're attacking.
It really shouldn't, should it? But psychologists will probably say otherwise. All right, let's leave Bristol City to one side then, shall we? Let's have a look at November and what. Hopefully that promises for better. We're recording this before the Sunderland game. Will you be clapping Alan Brown?
Yeah, for me. I mean, I don't know about. I won't be cheering him every time he gets the ball, but I'll give him a round of applause if his name gets announced or something. Yeah, he was for a long time. In fact, probably one of my favourite ever players. So it's quite sad to see him come back, but it's also good to see him come back with a team that's potentially looking like they could challenge, because I really think he deserves a shot at the Premier League. So, he'll get appreciation, but if he scores, I'll hate him. So it kind of goes both ways.
All right. So we don't know the result of that one, but we can talk about the Pompey game in a second. And then, of course, the break comes, and then we return with some nicest fixtures. Derby at home should be hopefully 3 points. Stoke away is
that one.
Stoke away is also dodgy as well in terms of how they're playing. And West Brom, you're catching them at a good time as well at the moment. So we're looking all right November for Preston, if we can just rediscover some of that spine of a team that doesn't leak goals. Let's talk about Pompey for a second. Then they are winless at home. You know exactly we know exactly what's going to happen, don't we? Let's pick the starting lineup then for us. Who starts for you?
Unfortunately, it's Woodman in goals. I don't really have much choice, do I? I might get grief for this, but I'd be starting Kessler Hayden at the right back, and then Story Lindsay in the middle, and Kean Best probably on the left because Hughes has just looked way off. He looks like he needs a rest.
Right.
I might even go 4-4-2 it. No, I think I think you've got to put Leds and McCann in the midfield. No, actually, I'll go for this game. Potts, McCann sitting in the midfield as the two centre mids, and then it's a crapshoot for the rest of it. I mean, I don't think there's really much choice. I always pick Mads, probably Mads, Greenwood, Mads off the left, Greenwood in the centre, and then I'd probably give Ockles a start, and then it's going to be Reece up front. I really want to see Stewart get some minutes. I think that Reece couldn't have done any less in the past 3 games, and he's played every minute pretty much, aside from the first half against Arsenal. And he just doesn't seem to be offering much. And I want him to do well, but I just don't think he has it anymore. So I want to see Stewart for a few minutes at least.
Yes, lots of tweets we could have used this week to hang Reece's poor performances out, but we can't keep bashing him every single week.
No, hopefully, but it's just he's quite easy to give stick to because he's the only option that we've had up front, and we've been struggling to get our striker to score. And whether it's down to him or whether it's down to not playing wingers, or and I also think he's better with 2 strikers or someone just behind him, so he can focus on the runs and not having to hold the ball up. Because he's not great at dribbling. Let's be honest.
No, he doesn't seem to be getting away from his man either. When I've watched him, it's football intelligence, isn't it? To know when to make your runs and not. All right, thank you, Ash, for that, especially doing that all on your own. One last question for you. It is Bonfire Night, of course, this week. So we're asking, we're laughing at this. Which one player needs a rocket up their backside more than any other? Who's not lit up this season that had all the potential to and has failed to impress? I know.
There's one. 2. Yeah, there's 2. We've just mentioned one and said we won't give him stick, so I'll leave Reece here. I think it has to be the captain, right? He's supposed to lead from the front, and he's done nothing but shirk and be invisible. I think if he could get back to whatever his best is, I don't think we've seen it for a long time, but if he could get back to the player we thought he was going to be and start pushing the team forward and having more effect on games, then I think we'd be a lot better off. But we're really struggling with him in the side at the minute. So rocket up Woodman.
Brilliant. Whiteman. Okay. Whiteman,
Whiteman. I'm Woodman. All of them.
All right. Can you better that? Drop a comment below which one player needs a rocket more than any other side to get Preston going. All right. Look, enjoy your trip, of course, to will you be going to Pompey? Will you be making that journey on Saturday?
No, I can't even get to Preston, never mind Portsmouth. No, it's too long for me. That I don't fancy taking my lad on a long coach. So I'll probably watch from home.
Shout out to any Preston fans that are doing that journey. That is a nasty one to do on any time. All right, enjoy the games then this week. We'll catch you on the other side of these two, and we'll see how the land lies then. Thanks, Ash. Okay.